Good day. Today I will be showing you how you can make a graph in Python with Matplotlib and create support and resistance levels. Okay, let's start coding. Step 1, the first step always is to import the modules. So let me start with step 1, import modules. Okay, the first module is Yahoo Finance, and I'm going to import the fixed version. There it is, fixed Yahoo Finance as, okay, this one. The second one, import pandas as pd. The third one, numpy, import numpy as np. Okay, and we're gonna need import SQLite 3 as SQL and some Matplotlib libraries. Okay, let's import Matplotlib, the pyplot version, pyplot as plt, and I made a typo. Okay, and also from Matplotlib transform, there it is, transform as transform. And the last one also from Matplotlib is matplotlib dot grid spec as grid spec. Okay, so these are the modules we're going to need. First we are going to download from Yahoo Finance and place it into a data frame. So let's start with that. First we're going to name a variable ticker, and the ticker from Adidas, because Adidas is the company we're going to look at today, is ads.de from Germany, and that's Deutschland. Okay, data is download, then the ticker. Okay, and we're gonna need a starting time, start, and it is a string. Let's start at 2019-01-01. Okay, and we're also going to need an end date, and well, let's end at the end of last week, so that's 2/20/07/25. Okay, make it a data frame. That's quite easy. pd data frame, and we're gonna put the data inside data, not date. Okay, that's all, and let's look how it turns out. We don't want to see everything, just the tail. The tail will show you the last 5 lines or rows, last 5 lines of the data frame. Okay, we got everything, no errors, and let's run. Okay, great. And here we see the data frame, the last week from July, the opening, the high, the adjusted close, and the volume. 5 rows, 6 columns. Well, it will be more rows if you, I can show you. If you just print all it out, the whole data frame. Let's run it. And then you see 393 rows, 6 columns, and ending at 24th of July. That was the end of last week. Okay, that's that. That's the first step. Then the second step. I'm going to insert some spaces here. And step 2, create a class for the, let's call it the database. We're going to create a class class database, and with this class we are going to open the quotes in the same way that we did here, but now we're going to put it in a class, and it might seem a little bit overkill to have a class for such a simple action, but later on and in next videos I'm going to show you how this class will be of benefit to you, because you can put in other items like moving averages, like indicators as RSI, and so on. So for now it might seem a little bit extensive, but later on this will help you. So let's create a class, and we're going to call that class database. Okay, well, the first is an init, and what we're going to need in this class is a ticker. Oh, that's not good. Let me, yes, a ticker and the amount of days. This is not necessary, but I'd like to do it in this way so you can verify in the amount of days that you want to see. Like we saw with the tail in the data frame or the whole data frame, where you can pick any day, 1 day, 2 days, 10 days, 100 days, 1000 days, whatever. Let's go further. Okay, self dot ticker is ticker. Data, oh, that's the same over here, so I can pull this one over here. What we're going to need is the data frame. That's almost the same. Then we're going to make it self.df is data frame. Okay. Then what we're going to do is pd. This is, well, let me first type it out and then I'll explain it. Option, set option, brackets, parenthesis, display max underscore columns. Okay, and none. Okay, what this will do, this will show you the total columns in a data frame. As you can see here, the current data frame has some dots. It has 6 columns, but it's only showing 4. So column 4 and 5, or 3 and 4 are hidden. With this line of code, you can show them all in the amount that the data frame has. In this case, that will be 6. Okay, self.df, and then it's self.df dot index dot day of week, smaller 5. Okay, this is to lift out the weekends, because we are going to look at a time series from Monday to Friday, and when you plot the whole thing, you don't want to see the weekends. So this is the code to exclude it from the weekend. Self.df is self.df brackets. Oh, no, not brackets. Minus days, like this. And what this will do is it will limit the data frame in the amount of days given here. Okay, that's for that. Second one is the quote. Yes, and this only returns a data frame. Return self.df. Okay, I think we got it all. And now we are going to create this class so that we can print it, and well, the output will be the same as step 1, but now we have placed it in a class. First thing we have to do is make the class. That's db or whatever you want to call it, but I call it DB, database. And here we need to implement the ticker code and the amount of days. So let's make it 1 year. This can be deleted. Then we make it a data frame. df is db.quote, like this, and parentheses. And now we can print it, and let's print the tail. Okay, so basically we are where we were in step 1, but now we made a class, and through this class we're going to call this data frame. So let's try it. Run. Oh, and there seems to be a small error. Let me see what's wrong. Well, line 24, and it's telling me self.df. I see. Sometimes an error is not visible, like this one. Let's try again. And there you have it. Okay, well, that's step 2. Step 3 will be, I will be replacing this database with a call option to SQLite. I myself import all the stocks from Yahoo Finance on a daily basis, so I got them in my own database, and I'd like to call my own database because otherwise I have to call every time the API from Yahoo, and sometimes you're not, like when you're sitting in a plane or so, sometimes you're not able to call the API, and I'd like to have my own database at hand at all times so that I'm able to make analysis wherever and whenever I want to. So I'm going to shut down the video for a few seconds, and I will come back after I rebuild the class, but the next steps will be the same for you. Okay, so I'm back. I rebuilt the class to my own database, and we can continue from here on. To show you that nothing changed, I will run it again, and you can see that the output is still the output as it was before. So the next step is creating the visualization. So I make it step, step 3, visualization with is like this, Matplotlib. Okay, a few lines of code, and then we can see the graph of this stock. Let's first plt rc that's the one, rc params, this one. Let's update. Okay, and then we have to, like this, font size, yes, and we need, oh, this is like this, bear with me, 10. Okay, well, this will do. This will make the font size in the whole graph 10 pixels. Normally Matplotlib has quite big font size, and I prefer a little bit smaller. You can adjust it any way you like, but with this line of code you can make all the font sizes equal, and in this case 10 pixels. Okay, next x1 is, and then plt subplots, subplots, and here we're going to call the fig size. Fig size is 14.7, so quite a large graph we make. I prefer large. Okay, let's call a label, the Y label, price in, let's say, euro, like this. And we are going to call the set X label, and that will be, of course, the date or dates. X1.set title. We're going to call the graph, and in this case that will be Adidas AG. This is hard-coded now, Adidas AG. You can make it a variable as well, but for now we leave it as it is. Okay, then the xplot itself, xplot. And what we'd like to see is the adjusted close. But you can also show the close or the opening or the high or whatever, but in this case we're going to take the closed. Data is data frame, so it's calling the data frame and it's calling adjusted close from the data frame. And that's this one over here. You can see adjusted close, that's it's one of the calling. Put in a label for the legend label. Well, we can say closing price. You can call it whatever, but it's the closing price. The line width. I think Matplotlib has a default of 2, and I prefer a little bit smaller, so I make it 0.5, and the color is blue. You can type in blue or a B, but if you type in a B, it gets a little bit shadier. So I call it blue, and it's the nice color blue. You can Matplotlib has a whole array of colors. You can look it up in the documents, but for now, blue is almost a standard for stock price graphs. Okay, AX1 legend. We want to see the legend, of course. Okay, and I'd like to show a grid just for visualization, and plot show to show everything. I think that looks great. No errors, I think. Let's run to see. Okay, no. There is a that one. And let's try again. What's the problem there? Oh, let's plot like this. It's not PLT, it's plot. Okay, great. And there you have it. Here you can see the Adidas graph from the last year. Prices in euro, date starting at, well, you can see it's shifting every 2 months. The big decrease in March, like every company has, and building up somewhat lower than it was running at the end of last year. Okay, well, that's the graph from Adidas, and this is the visualization through Matplotlib. There you have it. So we got the graph, we got the data frame, and now at the end we're going to add, and that will be step 5 or step 4. Step 4, adding trend resistance and support lines. I'm going to place it above because we need to have this information in front of the visualization, in front of this, so you get some variables, you get some code for adding the trend lines and the support and resistance lines, and that must be in place or in front of the Matplotlib coding. Okay, so what we're going to need are some trend lines and some high-low points. Let's go to them. Pivot high 1. Pivot high 1 is df high, and we are going to take the -21 -1, and we're going to need the max, and this is pivot 1 high, and we're going to make pivot high 2, and this will start at 20. This will end at start at 50. Okay, and at 21. So this is from -1 to -21. So it's like 4 weeks, and this will be the 6 weeks after that. Okay, these are the highs, and now we're going to also need the lows, so that's quite easy. Pivot low, and low like this, and oh, here you have it. Okay, these are the highs and lows, and of course this must be minus, and this also must be minus, because you don't want the max, you want the low. Okay, the first point will be A, and that will be df, and I can no, let me go to df high like this, and we're going to need the same distances, and then we're going to call this .idx max. Self, okay, and then the pivots high 1. Okay, this is 1, and with the second one we are going to call B, and that will be -50, okay, -22, and this will be pivot high 2. Okay, then we also going to need, let's copy paste A1 and B1, and these are going to be low like this. The rest will be quite the same, but until the end. Oh, that's not working. Pivot low, and this will also be pivot low. Okay, so now we got the points, and we make a new line, x1, and we call it high values like this, and we make it a list of A0 and B0 like this, and we got I1, and high values, that's A1 and B1. Okay, and of course we have to make the same low values. Okay, like this, low, and then it's going to be A1 and it's going to be B1. Okay, I think that is all the code we need. Okay, so let's start drawing some trend lines. First we're going to set the high trend line, so that's will AX1 dot plot like this, and then it's the X1. Well, there you have it, high values, X1 high values, the I1 high values. It's quite easy. We're going to make it a color green, the G, the line style, and we're going to do okay, spotted line, and also the line width. Line width is, and I'd like to keep it also 0.5. So this is the high trend line, and also we're going to need the low trend line, so that will be low values, and I think you can guess also low values, and we're going to make it red. And basically that's all what we can do. Well, you can make a let's do. We can make a label. Label is, well, let's call it trend resistance. Oh, capital resistance, like this, and the other one is trend support, like this. Okay, I think we got everything. Well, let's see how it looks now. Run. Okay, and here we got it. So what we see is the resistance line. It's a decreasing resistance line, and here you have the support line. And the next one, this is the trend resistant and the trend support, and now we're going to pivot the we're going to plot the support and resistant levels. And also that is a few lines of code, AX1 dot, and then it's AXH line from horizontal line. Y is pivot high, like this. The color is green, yes. The line width, and here we're going to make quite a thick line. I'd like to have some margin in my resistance lines. I see a typo over here. It's the X line, so like this. Okay, label is first resistance line. Okay, like this, and at last we're going to input an alpha of, well, let's say 0.5. 2. And the alpha is the transparency. 0.2 is quite, 0 is completely blank, 1 is completely filled, and the alpha of 0.2 is quite transparent. But you will see it once we plot the graph. Okay, so this is the x1, and the second one is basically the same, but it's the support line. The color is red. The 6, okay, and then this one must be support. Okay, so these are the support and resistance lines. You also like to see the value from these two lines. So this is what we are going to do now. For that we're going to need the transforms part from Matplotlib. There's a little bit of difficult coding, just look at it. I will type it first and explain it afterwards. Okay. Transform.blended, there you have it already. AX1 get Y tick labels, get Y tick labels 0 dot get transform like this, okay, and AX1 dot trans data. Okay, there you have it. That's quite a line of code, and it's only needed to transform the data on the right spot on the graph, but you will see it as soon as we show you the graph. Okay, so ax1.text. What is the text that we want to see? Now this opening bracket 0 pivot table high. We want to see the high. Okay, what the high number, so this is the resistance line, the number according to the resistance line. As it is a number, you want to, let me first code it and then explain it. 0 to F format, and then the format is pivot high. Okay, color is in green. Transform is trans. Oh. Transform is trans. Some difficult typing. Is right. VA is center. Okay, there we got it. So what you want to see is the number from pivot high 1 according to this line, and you want to transform it in a two-figure digit. So that's what this formatting is about. Okay, and let's also make it for the resistance line, and that's quite easy. Just replace the high with the low, like this, like this, like this. Okay, we got it, and I think we're good to go. Let me check. I think we're good to go, so fingers crossed, and let's run it to see. And there you have it. Okay, so what is this telling you? We got the blue line, which is the stock price from the last year of Adidas AG. We got the red dotted line giving you the uptrend, the green dotted line giving you the downtrend from the last let's say 1 to 2 months, which results in an upper resistance from 249.50 and a lower support level at 228.80, and you can see it's bouncing on the lower level and it's bouncing back on the resistance line. So that's it. With some line of code, you get a nice graph with resistance and support lines automatically, and if you change, for example, the ticker code, and I will show you. Let's make it AD, that's Ahold Delhaize, Ahold Delhaize. Okay, let's run it. And there you have it. Ahold Delhaize with a resistance and a support line with a trending support and a trending resistance line. Okay, I hope this was of interest to you. The code from this tutorial is in the description below, so you can copy it and adjust it for your own settings. See you next time.